Right, hello everyone, welcome to Hilly Stream for Tuesday night, and I am here for WAOF1, and it's round 8 of the season, and we're at Suzuka, Japan, for the awesome race that inevitably goes on around here. Now, it was a little bit I started a little bit early, so call it a treat if you want, or not if you don't. But I'm going to be joined in just a moment by Mr. Whale, the owner of WAOF1, for a quick pre-quali chat and interview, if you like. And I'm going to start trying to get different people in each week where I can. In the most part, it's most likely to be the Xbox players, because that's the easiest for me being on Xbox. So once he's here, we'll have a quick chat. I don't know what we're going to chat about, but we'll chat about something. I will just give everybody a heads up. I've got a stinking cold, so I might not sound too normal, or might be coughing a little bit, so I do apologise about that in advance, but not really much I can do about it. I've done everything I can. So Whale, you're supposed to join. Right, Suzuka. What do we know about Suzuka? Very difficult set to one that I always look forward to. I've just said to actually a few other people in a party chat that even though I'm a pad player and Suzuka is notoriously not a pad track, and better on wheel, I absolutely love this track. It's probably the track where I've got my most pole positions at over the years that I've been racing. So it's absolutely superb track in my opinion. Just so much contrast between sets of 1, 2 and 3, and that's what I love about it. So I don't know why Whale isn't joining me. Whale, join me. He is getting people in, so maybe he'll join after. Hang on. Here he comes. Oh, he said he'd be back in 2 minutes. I didn't realise that. I was a bit late seeing that. Hello.
Hello.
Don't forget to include your audio in the party.
Got it, mate.
You.
Hello.
Excellent, good boy.
Good boy.
Welcome. I've got you in
Okay.
for what's hopefully going to be the first pre-race interview that I do, which will mostly, of course, be sticking to the Xbox players in the most part.
Yeah.
But if the others do have the app or whatever, and we can get them in, and it works, I'll
Yes.
them as well. But in a way, yes, welcome. So first things first, Japan tonight.
Yes.
I just mentioned to you in a separate party that this, even though I'm a pad player, I absolutely love this track.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts?
I'm exactly the same. I think it's brilliant. It changed it either the last game or the game before. However they changed it, and it's absolutely transformed it for me. I used to hate it.
It made the curves better, less slippy.
I can't remember if
they're
it was
still
for
slippy.
this year
Or
or the year before.
They'll still kill you if you stick the throttle down while you're sat on them. They will kill you, but it's not. It's just not as bad as it used to be. And
no.
because
it's great. It's good fun.
Exaggerated.
Been doing a few laps.
What I love about it is the contrast between the sectors. So sector 1 is just windy. The S's. Followed by sector 2 that has the double right hander, followed by the heavy braking hairpin, and then sector 3, which is just sector 3 is flat out up to a chicane, and then the end. It's a weird that the sector 2 splits so late actually. I find that really strange. But effectively it's a straight and then brake for the chicane and then to the end. But then that chicane could be a bit dodgy as well. So quite a few people fly accidentally.
And, the corner I struggle with is the one. I think it's called the Degner. There's at the end of the first sector, there's 2 little right-handers.
2 right-handers.
Yeah, the second one.
90-degree right-handers.
The second one, that curve there, a little bit dodgy.
Yeah.
I imagine there might be
too much power down and it flings you across into the inside wall.
Might be a little spin or 2 there, I would have thought.
Yeah, there usually is. So, other than that, you've seen a recent upturn in pace, which has been great to see, and it's certainly laid you and Ozers into a championship battle in the constructors with the two RBs at the moment. Not too late for
Yes.
others to join into that either, because it is only round
Yeah.
8. Um,
hmm
what have you done?
Uh,
Why are you suddenly a bit faster?
well, as you know, I got this wheel just as the previous season started, and obviously took a little while to get up to speed. Um, but towards the end of the season, and particularly since Christmas, seemed to find a little pace. There's no reason why.
Yeah,
It's just a bit more consistency, really.
bit more
Um,
consistency. Been playing a bit more.
oh
Been a
yeah,
bit
to
more
be fair, I've been
practice.
playing. I'd never normally practice more than half an hour, 45 minutes before the race.
Yeah,
But I was on last night doing a few laps, and
nice.
yeah, it feels good.
So, um, at the moment, in the driver's standings, you're sitting in 7th, but you're
Yeah.
on an upwards trajectory, and you're just behind your teammate
hmm
by 4 points. I think you were level last week
Yeah.
on points, but
Yeah.
he just finished a little bit ahead of you.
Yeah.
Um, but that was only because you're so nice, so you keep letting your teammates pit first. Because I'm sure he undercut you through the pit stops
He did.
to get ahead of you. Yeah,
Was it?
and
Was it Bond? Was
he
it
did it.
Bonza last week? Yeah.
It was, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You were actually ahead of him, and then
It
you
was.
pitted a lap later and ended up behind him. So yeah, stop being so nice to your teammates. You were ahead. Make the call, man. Um,
I think I did. I got it wrong,
so
clearly. Not to worry.
interestingly, though, even though both RBs are actually ahead of both of the Ferraris in the drivers' championship,
Yes.
um,
It's close.
in the constructors they are ahead of you, but it's only
It's
19
close.
points, which 19 points to people watching might sound a bit, but that is one race.
Yeah.
That could be turned around
Yeah.
so easily.
The DNF or a retirement or anything changes it all.
Yeah, absolutely. You do have Aston Martin are not out of it yet, though.
Yes. Oh,
They are
Kev's
41
finding a
behind.
bit of speed, which is a bit concerning. And obviously
Yeah,
Steersy. You know what he's like.
yeah.
He's gonna
Steersy been
hit the
helping him,
front.
and I may have had a little message to him here and there as well, um, just to help. But yeah. What else should we talk about? WAOF1 as a whole. Um, are you happy with it at the moment? Are you happy where
Yeah,
we are?
very happy. Obviously, what 7 or 8 weeks into the new season. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, it's probably been one of the best starts.
yeah.
Obviously,
Well,
all
we're
20
very close
drivers.
to a full grid tonight.
I think we
We've had a
should.
couple of late pullouts, I think, or
Yeah, I
one late
think
pullout.
we should have still 20, but I will confirm that shortly. Um,
Yeah.
Definitely 19.
Oh well, Kingspin's in the lobby, and he was one of the ones that said he might not
Yes.
make it. So he clearly is. But the other
Um,
one, I've forgotten who it was. Was it Kev? No, it wasn't Kev. He's in the lobby. Who was the other one? Well,
Watson.
Watson. That's right.
Yeah,
Watson
I
has
think
been
we
called
had
out on
enough
an
people
emergency
waiting,
for work.
so I
So
think we're all good.
yeah, so we'll still have a full grid, but
Hopefully.
just with a couple of reserves in.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
see there's a chimp on the track as well.
Yes,
See if he
he's back.
doesn't get laps in this
He's
one.
back. Yeah.
So yeah, our American friend is back. So yeah, but yeah, overall, all happy with the direction the league's taking.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, looking for what about the new game? Are you going to be, or not the new game, but the update that's going to
Yeah.
happen? That's going to be like a new game.
Yeah.
We're all assuming, of course, that the update will include updates to the cars. And the
Yes.
grid, of course, being
Would thought
only a
so.
22 car grid, hopefully.
Yeah.
With is it the Cadillacs joining? I think. Or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. And the Audi
Yeah.
instead of the Sauber.
What would be your hope for the new game, for the new update?
To be honest, this is probably the best game they've had since 2020. I think that was probably the best, and then this is pretty close. So
yeah,
as long as it doesn't go backwards, no
yeah,
major complaints from me.
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause
if
obviously,
the model generally stays the same for the update, but they just bring in new cars, I wouldn't be
yeah,
too upset with
which
that.
I
You know,
imagine is
just for a
probably
year
what will
until they
happen.
actually do the
Yeah,
because the next proper release will be a properly
yeah,
start from scratch
mhm,
game,
yeah,
which hopefully they do better than Football Manager did because they completely ballsed it up for a release of their game. Um, yeah, I suppose for me, a hope for the next actual game would be that the setups have a bigger effect
yeah,
on things like tire wear and things like that. Because at the
yeah.
moment they do have an effect, but it's not
Hmm.
enough.
Yeah, no, I,
So
I
you'll
imagine
just
that
end
would
up
probably
running.
be more 27 than
Yeah, I would have thought so.
26.
Not the update. Yeah. As I say, at the
But
moment we all just end up sort of running pretty much the same thing.
yeah,
With very slight differences.
yeah.
Um, Right, so what time is it? It's 8:02. I don't know if the ready up message has gone out yet.
I know.
Um,
Let's have a look here.
so
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
just for a basic one then for tonight. What's your hope? What's your
Um,
target in qualifying and race?
Target's always Q3 these days. And then finish the race higher than where I qualify would be pretty good.
That's always nice.
It's
Yeah,
always what I aim for. Um,
yeah.
just
I think you
like,
should set your quality heights a little bit higher. I think you should be aiming top six really
well,
these days.
I
Um,
always struggle when it comes to the big moment.
yeah, it is tight. In all fairness, the grids. If you take Steersy out of the equation,
Yeah,
and I can see one or two. And James actually recently has been very, very fast. So if you take those guys out of the equation, the next places are so tight every week.
yeah, it is good. Um,
Absolutely. So we'll
it is
bin
tight.
Steersy and
It
James
is,
off next
yeah,
year for
wow,
next season. And then,
yeah, that's fine by me. As long as
maybe not
I,
James because even though he qualifies well, he
yeah,
almost always
he's all
spins.
right, isn't he? He's all right.
Yeah, he's all right,
He
but he always
does.
spins.
He's a nice
So
guy.
oh, he's a lovely guy. Yeah, he's just he's
Could
just
be
he's just
better.
dizzy a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, I
Feel
best
like
let you
Uber.
go because you got to go and get yourself through Q1, and I've got to
Yeah,
start
that's all good.
watching people. So
Let's
I'm going to try not to
hope for
cough too
nice.
much through my stream, but I'm not too hopeful. So,
All good.
um,
Well, have a good
are you?
have a good one.
Oh no, you'll be sat in your car, won't you? I'm sat on a screen,
Mm.
a loading screen, where I'm looking at the pits, and all the pit lanes have humps.
Humps.
You'll have to look at this back on the stream later. Yeah,
Have a
they've
look
all got
now. Hold on.
humps.
Oh yeah,
It's weird.
yeah, I can see that. How
That's got to
bizarre.
be a glitch. There's no way that's
That's
real.
very odd. I see what you mean.
That's got to be a mistake.
How bizarre.
Oh well. All right then. I'll let you
Right.
go then. Off you
Yeah.
go.
Thank you very much. Have fun. I'll
Yeah, and you.
speak to you later.
And good luck.
Cheerio. Thank you.
Oh, don't forget to send me that pen pot,
Yeah,
please,
no
and the
worries.
tissues.
Well, you got to give
Um,
me the point first.
well, I kind of wanted the things to arrive first. I'll be honest, but
Well.
but no, I'll trust you. I'll trust you. I'll
All
make
right,
you
all
the
right.
driver today, and you send
Perfect.
me the bribe.
Yeah, no worries.
All right then.
Thank you. See you
All
later.
right, see you later, man.
Bye.
For you guys watching, I will do my best to mute myself before I cough and stuff. But I am full of cold, so I will just promise to do my best. Right, so for you out there watching already, thanks for joining, guys, and I hope you enjoy. I'm sure you will, because Japan is awesome. And look at this! The chimp boy is back, Sniper Monkey, and he's first out on track, which means Gooner's not first out on track for once. Can you believe it? Oh, to be fair, Gooner isn't always first out on track in Q1. It's normally Q2 and Q3. He's out before everybody. He likes to lay down the time, get the telly time in, and see his name pop up on the screen. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? But what a treat that Sniper is out first, because that means we could do the hilly hop lap with the Merkin. Our American chimp friend. completely his fault about Trump, by the way. It's just to reiterise that. I blame him all the time. It's definitely his fault. He says he didn't vote for him, but I don't believe him. The Gooner at the pit lane. The pit lane is reversed here, so you won't see me out first tonight. No TV time for me, lot. Is it? I did not know that. That's odd. Why did they do that then? I genuinely did not know that, Gooner. Very, very strange. Interesting. But yeah, I can see now. Yeah, the green car, which you're in, is at the start of the pit lane. Interesting. Anyway, Sniper across to start his lap overtake down to around about 70%. Back to medium, throw it into turn 1, flat out, and then break down to 4th for turn 2. Can use 5th actually in qualifying through turn 2, but definitely 4th for the race. Then basically take as much speed as you can through the S's without running wide, because as soon as you run wide through those S's, it completely interrupts your rhythm and positioning on the track, and that loses you time. So take as much speed as you can through, but don't lose your rhythm. Through the 2 Degnas. Pretty nice actually, in all fairness. Now get the car over to the right, ready for the heavy braking hairpin. Down, open up the steering, get on the power. Sniper using 3rd for the hairpin. I think 2nd is probably the better gear. You can accelerate out of corners in 2nd this year quite comfortably. It's been difficult in previous versions of the game. Then through Spoon we go. The 2nd Spoon has always been a little bit difficult because you daren't touch the inside curb, and it's definitely a clockwise track, Gooner, not an anti-clockwise track. Then into the chicane, open up the steering, and as you can see, it's really poor on traction out of that corner. Sniper almost loses it completely, but manages to hold it pretty well to start us off with a 28.7. Steersy immediately beats that with a 27.9. There's no doubt Sniper would have lost several attempts because of that moment. Here comes Robin, 32.6 from Robin. Kingspin's quite early on. Can I get that Merc? This is Gregory coming out the final corner. 28.6 goes P2. Let's go with Kingspin then. There is an Aston ahead of him, but I don't want to cycle through the drivers too much. That must be Kev. So Kingspin struggles a little bit through the chicane, in all honesty, but it's looking like a decent time. 28.5 puts him into P3. Kev, by the way, P6, 29.6. Let's have a little look. Barry's invalidated. Chew back on his way up the straight. Forgotten what we call that little left-hander there, but it's basically a non-existent corner unless it's raining. And out of the corner comes Chewbacca. What's he got for his first run? 29.4 puts him into P7. Chris early in his lap, but is invalidated. Let's go to the Haas that's just coming round. This is Avi Tyrrell on his first race in WAOF1 for a long time. Out on the mediums, interestingly. Personally, I would say I ideally wouldn't want to put anywhere on these mediums, because you may well need them in the race. Every chance of a safety car at Japan. But it's each to their own, and it's a 28.5 from Avi. He goes P5 on the mediums. Go to Admiral then. He'll be next to cross the line on a hot lap. Chris is further around, but he's invalidated. So here comes the Merkman. It's a Spoon, a little wide on entry of the first of the 2 left-handers at Spoon, but all in all I didn't seem to affect him too much, and may have just been worth a few hundred or so. 10.6 through the second sector split. Keeps the car really tight to the left-hand side through... what's it called? 370R or something? I can't remember. To the line then from Admiral. It looks like a decent time. 28.1 puts him right away up to P2. Switch to Gunnar then, who's just coming through the second of the two Degnas. Up to this hairpin. It's always been a... Oh, he's not on a lap, actually. Sorry, I've just noticed that. So let's switch to Chris. It's just... Oh, no, he's not on a lap either. Anybody on a lap? Looks like Wales on his first run. Clatters the curb on the first Degna, and unfortunately that only just invalidated him. It was very, very tight. Just about over the line. So I think Gunnar's coming through to start another lap. Or actually, who was that? That's Josh just gone out the pits. Gunnar actually set up for a 3.8 there, but he was on ERS all the way through. Doesn't use much battery down to turn 1. In contrast to Sniper. Sniper used down to 70%. Gunnar only went down to 79%. It's nice and tight through the right-hander. That should open up this left-hander. It should be flat out. Flat through the first Degna. In now to the heavy braking for the hairpin. Open up the steering. What's the Cyberman got? It's been a little off his usual self on Tuesdays recently in qualifying. But I've got a feeling he'll be back there tonight. Again, like myself, another pad player is Gunnar. So, again, it's not the most ideally suited track for him as a pad player, but he's usually pretty good round here. 4.3 up, that already puts him on 28.5, which is on terms with P4. And you would assume that he's going to gain time here, so should be going P3, P2, P3, and goes P4. So I just think gain as much through the final sector as I might have expected there. So back to Ferraris. Well, heading up to the end of the second sector. 11.0. So we saw Admiral go significantly quicker than that through the second sector. So, Wells already used all of his deploy. There's a car round. And that's Red Bull. That's right. Sorry, an RB. That's Ryanair. Had a little moment then out of the final corner as Ozers heads for the line. Slightly faster through sector 2 than Whale. Whale did go up to P4. Ozers up to... actually goes just ahead of him, so the Ferraris go 4 and 5 at this point. James and the RB in 6. So interestingly, Whale was slower than Admiral through sector 2. But was... Oh, sorry, no, Admiral's up in P3. I was about to say, but was not faster over the whole lap, but he was... Sorry, Admiral was faster over the whole lap. Here is Josh, but he's not on a proper lap. Nor is Barry. Kev has actually just completed a lap. He's improved to a 29.4. Just confirm that at the end of sector 1, just to make sure he is down. Yeah, he's 2.1 down. So, Beastie's on the in lap. Sniper, I think, is about to start a hot lap, so we'll go back to him, where we started. As we get some retirements from the session, Tolu, who's in P1 at the moment, 27.8, has retired from from Q1. He feels he's done enough. So is Admiral, currently sat in P3 on a 28-1, and now Daguna on a 28-4. All three feel that's enough to get them through, and I'd probably agree. Sniper then. How's he doing for set to 1? Just over half a tenth up. Remember, back to his first run. The real place where he's going to gain time is out the chicane at the end of the lap. That's the obvious place. And as long as he gets that correct, he should go flying up the order. I would predict to around about P4, P5, but it could be slightly higher even. Again, just slightly wide on the entry to the first Egna, to the first of the spoon corners. It's just over half a tenth up through set to 2, but as I said, it's out of the final corner where he lost all the time last run. Oh, and he's out of shape again, and that'll be back into the pits. He's done it again. He's not having much fun out of the chicane at the moment. And that will probably result in him having to come out again. I suspect that was the second attempt on the same tyres, but now he's going to have to put a fresh set on. Please change our attentions then to to Josh. Pretty good through spoon. Heads up to the end of the second sector. But no, he's not on a lap, is he? Sorry. Just realised he's not on a lap. Chewbacca then. So, attention where possible. I will try and keep on the guys that are sort of in the drop zone or just over it, just inside it. Oh, Chewbacca! You forgot to keep turning right. He was doing alright there as well. That was a little unforced error there from Chewbacca. It's a bit of a strange one, but unfortunately it was a lap destroyer. So we can move now to Kingspin. I don't know if he's on a lap or not. He's not on a lap, he's using no ERS. James then. Again, not on a lap, he's just finished a lap, so who will be next? Sniper's already back out on an outlap. So is Robin, he's just behind Sniper on track. But next to cross the line then is Barry. I think Kingspin might be heading on to a lap unless he's returning to the... No, he's returning to the pits, I think. Yeah, he's in the pit lane. So we'll stick with Barry, which we were going to anyway, because as I say, this Q1 is about guys that are in these positions. That all looked... Yeah, thought that all looked pretty nice through the S's, to be honest. And there's his reward. 3.5 temps up, but goes wide at the first Degna. Oh, and then loses it out the second one. And that's probably because he had gravel on the tyres. I think he was attempting to carry on. But, yeah, just lost it out of the second one. So, you can move... Well, we were going to move attention to Robin, but let's move to Sniper then. No, he's not on a lap. Gregory has just started a lap. Tenth and a half down through sector 1. Didn't seem an awful lot wrong through the S's, but clearly not as well done as he did on his first run. May well be safe on the time that he set, but it's one of those, because he's in P12, he can't sort of risk that. He needs to go out and protect it if he can. Good through Spoon. A little bit of lag just coming out of Spoon. Made it look a little bit strange, but all good. And is now up by nearly 2 tenths. Yeah, just getting a bit of lag. Hola, Endor. Good evening. Welcome. Thank you for joining once again. Here it comes. Gregory then. Just over a tenth up. See a bit of lag going on, but Prue's just over a tenth, moves up to P8 just to make yourself a little more safe. So let's just check Abby, 4 tenths up through sector 1. See a lot more grip in these softs than on the mediums that he did on his first run. Using those mediums on the first run has meant he just needs to go out and protect himself. Undoubtedly has the pace. Got a yellow flag showing up. That's actually his Haas teammate. So Robin keeps nicely to the left hand side and out of the way. Nice through the final corner from Avi. I didn't see the sector 2 split, but here he comes to the line. And it's 27.6, goes fastest by a couple of attempts over Tolu. Gregory and Kev. Sorry, Kev's on his way to the line. Was 8 thousandths down through sector 2. And just over half a tenth down through the end of the lap. Gregory improves by a tenth and is P11. Interestingly, he's not giving... Oh, yes. It wasn't showing up as giving him the checkered flag for a moment there, but it has done. So we're just waiting for Robin to be pushed in, but that is the end of Q1 then. So Avi fastest in Q1. All the guys on your screen there all making it through. Well done, Beastie and Robin. Both getting through Q1. Very well done, guys. Unfortunately for these guys this week, it's Barry, Josh, Chewbacca, and Kev that we lose at the end of Q1. Just goes to the race director. There's any incidents. No collisions, as you can see. It's all speeding into the pits, which we don't care about, and exceeding track limits, which will invalidate their laps. Robin there at the bottom. It's in next lap, but he got through, didn't he? So it didn't matter in the end. Just confirm that it was P15, wasn't he yet? So did get through. So into Q2 we go, and going by Q1, this is going to be highly competitive around that P10 area. Just for anyone that's joined since after I started the stream, since I last mentioned it, I do have a horrible cold, so I do apologise for any coughing or sniffing or sneezing that I might do. I will try my best to mute myself before I do any of those, but sometimes it just happens a bit involuntarily. I am. So, Gunner's moving, like he's trying, but the Ferrari's going to ruin it for him. And he has to, look at Yasu coming out aggressively into Gunner there. Get over, he said. Get over. Two Ferraris were first out. Was that tactical? Are they coming out like this to give each other a tow? We have had moments where they both made Q3, and we have had moments where neither of them made Q3. We've probably had more moments than either of those where one's made Q3 and the other hasn't. Both drivers easily have the pace to make Q3 and probably should be on a weekly basis. Which is probably something we say about the real life Ferrari drivers in Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. But again, we often see at least one of those eliminated early. So it's Whale ahead of Ozers on track. As I say, is this a plan from the two Ferraris to actually give a tow to the teammate? The only thing with that, don't be too close through the S's because it will hinder you with the dirty air. Pushing hard on the outlet, yeah. Well, they might actually, I mean, they might be on used tyres, and also they might not care about the tyres too much if they're on used. It's just more about getting a time on the board. But let's go on board then with Whale, who we did the pre-quali interview with. And messes up turn 2. It's advisable to avoid the curves where you can around Japan. Through these S's you do tend to use them a little bit, but you've got to be careful with your power input. But definitely turn 2, you do not want to turn in too early and touch the inside curb there. It will try and pull you round. See, looking from behind the Wells car that Ozers did back off towards the end of the outlap. Still plenty of battery left for Whale as he heads on to the back straight then. It can become a very good overtaking opportunity, even though there's no DRS up this straight. Because it's uphill all the way, it exaggerates the slipstream effect. So it really makes the slipstream effect a lot stronger because you're going uphill, so less aerodynamic forces working against you. Can I find Ozers? No, I can't, but Ozers goes faster. So 29.1 from Whale. We saw a clear mistake in turn 2. Ozers 28.7. Steersley immediately though 28.1. Gunnar 28.8 and splits the Ferraris. Robin looks like he's backed off. Sniper just coming through the final chicane. Oh, and he's done it again! Oh, you lucky, lucky boy. Oh, I am so glad I've just got that on stream. That's getting clipped. That is definitely getting clipped. I will say, in Sniper's defence to things like that, if we see any of that going on tonight, he has only just bought the game, this year's game. Now, anybody who's been with me for WAOF1 over the years, which I'm sure there's plenty, especially that watch the stream back, will remember that Sniper was always right up there as one of the fastest in the league, and he still will be, but he only bought the game last week, so he's just returning, so give him chance, and I assure you he will get back there. He's too good a driver not to. As Chris dips his left front onto the grass there, not ideal, little loss of concentration maybe. Does just cost you a little bit of time when you're driving up the straight and you just dip the wheel onto the grass. It's not a huge amount, but maybe a hundredth or two. Does it again, just turning in a little too early. And okay, at the final corner, what's he got for us? this time round, 28.7. As I said, a lot of these times are probably being set on worn tyres from Q1, so I wouldn't read too much into them as Tolu retires out on a 27.2. Looking pacey, Red Bull man, as he has done for several weeks in a row now. It's just when it's come to the race, things haven't gone his way, but it's definitely shown that his outright pace is outstanding. He's been 11.8 through sector 2, so clearly, yeah, he's not on the lap. Sorry, he wouldn't be running the medium there. So let's switch to his teammate, which is Beastie, currently going through the S's of sector 1. 32.5 through the first sector. Pretty good through the Degnas. Maybe a little bit easy on the second one, but the largest thing about the second one is getting a good exit to take you up to the hairpin, so I don't think you'd have lost too much by being a little bit easy. It's a good spoon as well, kept the car nice and tight to the inside curbs, actually slightly touched them, which generally you wouldn't advise through there, but it didn't affect him, or it didn't seem to. Didn't see the sector 2 split, but it's been a pretty... Oh, I thought that was going to invalidate, I must admit. Genuinely thought that was going to invalidate, but it didn't. And, yeah, it's 29.2 from Beastie. Again, probably on worn tyres, but all in all, it looked pretty clean. It looked like a good clean lap. Let's go back to Sniper and see if we can manage to drive past the pits this time instead of into it. Using his overtake back to medium. Only so much you want to use in that part because you're constantly turning right all the way until just before Spoon. Don't want to use too much in that area of the track because with a gentle curve, you will limit your top speed a little bit through there. And up to the chicane, pretty much perfect on battery, to be honest. Was 11% going into the chicane, which gives him enough to power out of the final corner. Could maybe argue he could be a bit lower, but you lose a bit of power once you go under 10% in a way, so it's not a big thing. And he goes 28.3 and into P5, so much better that from Sniper as the Gooner invalidates. Whale back out there. Now 2 cars between the 2 Ferraris of Chris and Gooner. Much better from Well. That was where he made a mistake. He also made a mistake at turn 2, which he didn't do this lap either. 6.5 temps up through sector 1 alone. Already puts him on a 28.5, which would slot him into P7 at the moment. But with plenty of time to come. Doesn't quite get Spoon right, but I don't think it was so bad that he's going to lose much, and he's going to pick up a bit of a toe off the McLaren. Must be Chris, as he's the sole McLaren remaining. And I didn't see the sector 2 split. I keep looking up at on the left-hand side of the screen when the sector 2 split comes up, so I keep missing it. Again, he's running out of deploy too early, so he does just need to do something about that, Whale. But it's a good lap. 27.8 puts him into P3, and I feel that will see him into Q3. So just needs Ozos to do the same. Let's go to Avi, shall we? No, he's not on a lap. Robin. No, I don't think Robin's on a lap either. Using an overtake out of the hairpin, so I think he is on a lap. excuse me. 6.5 tenths up through sector 2 then for Gunnar. That's a 28.2. So he's almost identical with James, unless there's a further improvement, which there is. So he moves up to P4 ahead of Admiral, but behind Whale. He's out of shape there, Abby, with the lead up to the hairpin, but he's using overtake, so I think he's on lap. Oh, well, that's ruined that. Maybe a good thing, because he's only got 0.7 laps of fuel left, so if he completed that lap, he'd have had a very, very slow in-lap, and would not have made it back to the pits in order to do another run, whereas now he can. So maybe not the worst thing in the world. James diving off track there as the Haas approached, but Avi's lap had been ruined, so didn't need to worry about it too much. But you never know that if you're the car on track. I would say it'd be great if the engineers told you about cars behind you, whether they're on hot laps and stuff, but I don't think it will work, simply because sometimes people do 2 laps and it'd be telling you they're on an in lap when they're actually doing another hot lap, and I just don't think the fact that the engineer gets most of the stuff he says wrong already, I don't think it will work. The only way it could work is in career mode, I think, when you're against AIs. It could work on that because they stick to the out lap, hot lap, in lap framework. But yeah, multiplayer, can you imagine with, especially in the rain, when people do maybe 5-6 hot laps on a stint. Attacking track, probably attacking the most aggressively out of the cars we've seen so far. A lot of curb going into the chicane. It's a 27.6 from James. That pace that we've seen from him recently seems to be continuing. Into P3 he goes. I can imagine Whale, he's been looking forward to this all week, so I can't disappoint him. But I can imagine Whale in the party now. Oh, James. Oh, James. Why'd you do that, James? I was happy in P3, now you've got ahead of me, James. That's my Whale impression, in case anybody didn't know. Sniper on a lap, so he's a P8. Let's go to someone who's in the drop zone at the moment. James. You can spin then, heading up the back straight, coming into sector 2 now, 110.6. And here he comes, 28.2, goes into P8. Could be in trouble. Well, after recent performances from Kingspin, if we were to lose him at the end of Q2, that would be a surprise. Ozer's not on a lap. And I believe the checkered flag's out, so Ozer's is out. So we are going to lose one Ferrari. As it stands at the moment, we would also lose one RB, but Ryanair is improving. Attempts up through the second split, puts him just ahead of King Spin, so would move into the top 10. I can't really see anything wrong with the final chicane. So here he comes, 28-1, jumps up to P9. Ahead of Kingspin, somebody else jumps up there as well, I believe. But I don't know who. Beastie improving. Goes P12. Avi, who's not managed to get a proper time on the board through Q2, but is improving here. As he heads for the line, what's he got? It's a 27-4, so he goes into P3 and knocks Kingspin out, who is not on a lap. So Kingspin is out at the Q2 stage, which is a shock. Ryanair just about makes it, so we have 2 RBs going into Q3, but only 1 Ferrari. And bad news for Oz as he starts P14. That is not where the Ferrari team will be expecting their drivers to qualify. So, in a way, well done to Tolu, Steersy, Avi, James, Admiral, Sniper, Whale, Chris, Gunnar, and Ryanair, who make it through to the pole position shootout. Unlucky on this occasion to Kingspin, Gregory, Beastie, Ozers, and Robin. Although I will say, Robin, very well done getting through to Q2 this week, and Beastie P13, very good. Not just P13, but competing. It's not that far off making it through. Attempts. So there we have it. The top 10 all in all separated by 8.5 attempts, but we'll see if that remains the case in Q3. Usually the top boys have still got a bit of time left to give, so we'll see how they go. Race director, don't think there's anything to scroll down. No, there isn't. So there we have it. Now, just before Q3 starts, I'm just going to restart my party because I'm on my own. It might chuck me into the game chat, which I don't want to do just in case I put people off, so just bear with me. Right, I am back. Still have a bit of coffee, thank goodness. So, I don't know why I bother bringing the tires up. It's Q3, they're all using softs. See a bit more of the screen if we keep it like this. So it looks like a Merc is first out, so that will be Admiral. Oi, vai! Oi! Patti patti oi 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 patti patti oi oi. I don't know what that is. It's just me making up a song about what Fatty said. Patti patti oi oi. That's enough of that anyway. Yeah, Admiral's beating Gunnar out the pits because something I didn't know, Fatty, but the pit lane here at Japan, for some weird reason, is reversed. So the Sauber's at the start of the pit lane rather than the end. I did not know that. I do now. I did not know that. It looks like Gunnar did get out second, which is pretty impressive when he's right at the start of the pit lane. So Admiral, who's looked handy around here so far, has been in the 27s. Here he comes. Down to turn 1 then. So flat through turn 1. And as you can see, I'm always using 5th gear, which is what I mentioned. I find 5th better through turn 2. Admiral, a man after my own heart, using cockpit mode, which I absolutely love. Only difference is I'm on pad, Admiral's on wheel, and that's an invalidation from the seaman. Can I get to Gunner at some point? That would be nice. Here we go. Up the stairs, he says, KSR Racing. It's Kev, by the way. Oh, right, okay. I was about to say, why are you supporting Steersy? He always wins, but now I understand he's your teammate. Makes sense. Evening, Kev. I hope you enjoy your race here at Japan. I love this track. It's part of the reason why I am doing comms tonight, despite the cold, just because I didn't really want to miss Japan. Why I couldn't get a cold next week when it's Monaco, I don't know. That would have been the ideal, and in fact, he could definitely have done comms for me. But, 28.3 from the Gunner. I would suggest probably a used set of tyres, because I think Gunner had to use a second set in one of the other sessions, in the first session, I think. So, almost certainly a used set from Gunner, as Sniper just about keeps it in the white line through the first of the two Degnas. Some other times coming on the board. First into the 26s tonight then, Steersy 26.9, Chris 28.0, P2 at the moment. I definitely wish Fatty. I'm not looking forward to next week. Actually, I normally, I'll be honest with you, Fatty. Actually, I usually quite enjoy doing comms on Monaco. Yeah, the only thing I haven't done comms on Monaco this year yet, on this year's game, and I'm just a little bit worried about the safety cars. But, because that would really be boring if it just turns into a safety car fest, but hopefully it doesn't. Sniper then, heading to the line. 28.4 from Sniper goes P6. Whale has done a 27.6 in P3 at the moment. Tolu's gone P2 on a 27.1. Here's James just coming out of Spoon. Bring on the carnage. James is fully backed out then. It's like Cyril Avi will be onto a lap next, so let's stick with him. Somebody else must have jumped up somewhere there. I don't know who though. No, I don't think they have actually. Somebody must have. Oh, I don't know, but we're on board with Avi anyway. Go on the Avi. Did struggle through Q2, not time-wise in the end as he jumps up to P3, but really struggled to get a clear lap on the board, which I think made him use an extra set of softs. So, just catches the grass on the right-hand side there. I don't know if you noticed the grass just appear on the right front. That's how I know he called it. Just compromised the entry a little bit. Pretty good through Spoon. And overtake in ERS all the way up the back straight until I would say you reach this left-hander. But no, he keeps it on overtake. I usually switch mine off before the left-hander because you're naturally dropping speed going through a corner. 27.8 from Avi, goes into P4 for the moment. Just that little mistake going into the hairpin. As I said, I don't know if he's got another set of tyres or not. Everybody else at the moment sat in the pits, so may as well watch Avi do a little bit of in-lap mastery. Just thought actually, let's just look at his fuel. No, he does. He definitely doesn't have enough fuel to go again, so he will be returning to the pits. Mentioned in the pre-quali interview, the reason I love this track is pure differences in the three sectors. The fast S curves through sector 1, constant movement of the car from right to left, left to right, and all the way through. Then sector slightly embarrassing when you're on stream on an in lap. Sector 2 then with the 2 Degners, very fast corners. It's, then the heavy braking part into the hairpin. Don't know what Abby's up to there. Nonsense. Let's go to Sniper. Gregory might need an invite. I didn't notice him drop out. Don't appear to have him, Fatty, so it'll have to wait until, well, one of the other admins get Ozers to invite him or something. I haven't got him added by the looks of it. So on board with Sniper. Either I've not got him added, Fatty, or he's not showing up, which could be the case. I'm getting communicating with online services coming up on the left-hand side of my screen. You think, great. I don't, honestly, if I have problems tonight, this is the last time I'm hosting a lobby while doing commentary. My internet is so powerful it shouldn't have any issues. Should be able to host a lobby, do commentary, and watch a stream of something else without any issues whatsoever, but it just seems to have issues sometimes. It's a bit wide there through turn 2, Sniper, but that's not lap destroying at all. Let's just see how he is through the first sector split. Doing well to make Q3 in all fairness, Sniper, having only got the game last week. 10th up through sector 1 then. Bit wide on entry into the second egg nub, but it was a pretty decent exit. It wasn't too bad. And heavy braking into the hairpin. I would say runs a little bit wide on the entry to the hairpin, but actually you can do that. It doesn't really affect your time whether you take that hairpin right really tight to the inside or actually stay quite central to the track. Much more important to worry about getting a better exit, but completely messes up Spoon. And that's the end of that lap for Sniper. It's a disaster. Admiral then, he needs a couple of drivers just to be a little aware. He's coming up to the house of Abby. Now he's backed out, Admiral, so Chris then. Sniper's just crossed the line to start another lap, so he's going again. Whether he got his battery fully charged again. You can quickly charge your battery by just applying a gentle brake while still using the throttle. Recharges it very quick. So that's been pretty good for Chris, but a definite mistake there into the hairpin as he just, I think, oversteered a little bit on entry and sort of as a little slide. Not too bad through Spoon, maybe a little tentative going on the power out of it. Coming up the hill to the end of the second sector and is half a second up, which puts him into the mid-27s. This will put him P3 as it stands. Over the line and does indeed go P3 on a 27.5. Sniper Monkey on his way to the chicane, 6.5 temps up, so this will put him into the 27s. At the moment, it would put him P6, but if he's got any more time, as he just slides a bit again out of the final corner, but does improve 7 temps, moves into P5. Very, very good effort that from Sniper. Tolu heading for the line, he's up, he's on target, is he? No, stays P2. Whale heading for the line, he's improving. 27.5 from Whale, goes P4. Where's Steersy? You haven't actually seen Steersy once yet until now. But it looks like pole position for him. Doesn't improve on his final run, but it doesn't matter unless Admiral can displace him. Admiral on a big improvement. Abby goes into P3. Good night, Dad. It was a 27.3 from Admiral. He shot up to P5. A really, really good time that from Admiral. Goes P5. But, Steersy it is who holds off the challenges of Tolu and Abby and James and Admiral. But the main rival being Tolu was so close. But on this occasion, Steersy holds him off. So it's Steersy starting on pole with Tolu in P2, Abby 3. James is 4 with Admiral in 5. We'll do the full rundown, but you can see on your screen where everybody else is. Well, in P6. What did I say? Well, you should be targeting top 6. And look at this. See what I've done for you? That's all about me. Sorry, excuse me. Right, guys, that's the end of qualifying. We'll be heading into the 50% race next. Onto a formation lap. So that's where we'll do the full grid rundown and look at the tyre strategies, etc. Any drivers listening, remember there is a break now, so do not ready up. We've got about 5 minutes. I'll see you on the formation lap. Just going to take a quick break. Okay, guys, back with you and ready for the shenanigans of Japan. I said before, I love this race. Love this track. And what can we actually expect around here? Well, I guess the first question is one stop or two stop. Well, the one stop, I believe, around here is around about 6 seconds faster than the two stop. So we should be seeing the vast majority of drivers one stop in. Those that start on hard, a poorly timed safety car could force them to two stop. So that's something they'll be hoping not to have, but it is a real possibility at Japan. Particularly when someone crashes out of the second Degna into the wall on the inside. If somebody crashes there, it's almost an inevitable safety car. So I would say that's the main part. The other thing that can happen, because of the S's in sets of one, sometimes you might end up with two cars round at the same time, and that can go on to cause a safety car, especially if there's debris on track. So, grid rundown first. So, Steersy starts on pole with Tolu alongside in P2. Avi starts P3 with James alongside in 4. Admiral in 5 with Whale in 6. Chris and Sniper on the 4th row of the grid with Ryanair starting P9 and Daguna rounding out the top 10. King Spin starts P11 with Gregory in 12. Beastie 13, Ozers alongside in 14. Robin starting P15 with Barry in 16. Josh and Chewbacca on the 9th row of the grid, and Kev starting at the back in P19 tonight. Should be interesting to see how Kev does coming through. Ozers as well starting from P14. Could be interested to see how he comes through. Really needs to be finishing top 10, so that will definitely be the aim. He needs to get into that top 10, especially with both RBs starting in the top 10. Tyres then. Steersy actually starting on the hards at the front. Risky, but that's the strategy he's gone with. Then we got a run of mediums from Tolu in P2 all the way down to King Spin in 11. Gregory starting on the softs, interestingly. Beastie in P13. Down to Josh in 17, all starting on the mediums. Chewbacca starting on the softs. Kev starting on the hards. I would think that those guys two starting on the softs are probably two stopping, as Tolu and Abby end up disqualified on the formation lap. That's not ideal. That's definitely not what they'd have wanted. With Steersy starting on the hards, the last thing those two wanted was to DSQ the formation lap and have cold tyres off the start line. So, but yeah, looking at that, I think Gregory and Chewbacca look like they are definitely two stopping by starting on the softs. All the medium runners could be doing a 1 or could be doing a 2. The guys starting on the hards, I would definitely be expecting to do a 1. Let's change to position change then. Get the other details off the screen. So Steersy's on the right of your screen in the Aston, Tolu on the left, Avi behind Steersy, James behind. Tolu. 5 lights are on, out they go, and we are off. As Steersy looks like he gets off the line pretty well despite being on the hards. Avi comes across and pushes Tolu a little bit. Is it Tolu or James? What's going on here? Where's Tolu? I think we need a lobby restart. Any admins listening, we need a lobby restart. Tolu's been DSQ'd for no reason off the start line. I want to kill... Lobby restart, guys. trying my best solo to call this. Sorry guys, but I have left in an attempt to cause a restart, or to call a restart. It's rather difficult to do when all the admins are in the race. Well, I don't know what to do. Guys, anybody's got a stream on, if you're in the race, any admin, that's a lobby restart. I've called a lobby restart. I'm not rejoining and commentating on that. Right, I guess I got to carry on. I don't know what to do, guys. I'll have to carry on, but we're gonna have to have words after the. We're gonna have to have words after the race because this ain't no good. If I call a lobby restart, it needs to be heard and dealt with. Right, we're back with it then, guys. I do apologise about what's been going on, but I'm literally the only person that should be calling a lot. Well, not the only person that should be calling it, but I'm the one to call it, and they should be listening. It's ridiculous. So at the moment, Avi leads, Steersy second. James is third, well 4. Chris in 5, Admiral 6. Kingspin 7, up 4 places so far. Sniper in 8 where he started. Gunner 9. Ryanair just down the 1 to 10. That's our top 10. As Sniper makes the move on Kingspin at the chicane. And Kingspin be able to come back in. Well, actually, Sniper gets the DRS, which means Gunner may well be coming through as well, as Avi is out. Avi's retired in the pits. Oh, Barry is round. Barry. Sorry, I thought I was on board with Gunnar, but it's Barry in the other Sauber. The other flag is Avi's cars come back out on track. I don't know why he's retired. He's leading the race. He's retired from the lead of the race. Very odd behaviour. So, Steersy leads then. Whale now second. James up to third. Chris fourth. And I'll try and get onto some commentary now, but sorry for you guys watching about the start of this race. So what else is happening? Ozers has managed to get up to P11. Beastie into the top 10 in 10th. And here comes James then for the overtake on Whale. And up to P2 for the RB. Big move there in terms of the constructors. Ozers having moved up 3, Ryanair stayed where he is, so he's in P9. So Ozers only 2 cars behind Ryanair, and he is in DRS. Beastie also in DRS of Ryanair, so still battling away. So I'm sorry guys, I've been so put off by what's happened here at the start that I've lost my way a little bit. Let's just watch, well, up the uphill straight, trying to pick up a bit of a distance toe off of James, but James actually getting away slightly. Although Whale closes in towards the end of the straight as James switches to no ERS. Well, does hold within the DRS range. You'd think at the moment, with Steersy having started on the hards, that this gap's going to grow and grow at this stage. He may have to come back and re-overtake James later on for the lead. Who else have we got then? Admiral ride on the back of Chris. And a bit of a gap back to Sniper Monkey. Gunnar following him. Beastie's managed to get past Ryanair, so that now puts Ozers on the back of the RB. Near the front, James has just pulled out over a second now to Whale, and he's catching Steersy at the moment. lap 8 already of this 27 lap race. So these mediums are going to start feeling it for sure. It is interesting actually, being lap 8 and James is managing to shut that gap. I would have thought that the mediums would already be feeling it quite a bit. And Ozer's into the pits. This is an undercut attempt from Ozer's. So Ozer's into the pits, King Spin into the pits. So early stop from those two. I don't think that that's for a 2-stop. I still think they're 1-stopping from there. Well, just showing signs that he might be able to edge back into the 1 second of James. He's got Chris chasing him at the moment, and Admiral in hot pursuit as well. King Spin and Ozer's coming out in 14 and 15. Well, hang on. Now it's not saying that Tolu's disqualified. But he's nowhere to be seen. He's just... what is going on? I haven't got a clue. Lobby's broke. I was about to message him and tell him he's not actually disqualified, but he is. It's just showing him as in the pits constantly. Lobby is absolutely done. Into the pits comes Chris. And Admiral follows him in. He went to have a little sniff there. Did Admiral. Wales gone through. As is James. Steersy obviously going through. I'm starting on the hards. King Spin and Ozers. What sort of undercut could they get? Chewbacca, by the way, 9 laps on the softs, pretty decent. Pretty good going that. Actually got more out of his softs than King Spin and Ozers got out of their mediums. So King Spin up to 11. Ozers did not jump Ryanair. Ryanair stays ahead of Ozers. I wish I was on board for the pit exit, but just missed it, unfortunately. Really good though from Ryanair on the in-lap to come out ahead. So Ozers definitely has his work cut out now, because that was definitely an attempt at undercutting his way past Ryan. The other target for these two was Beastie, of course, so we see Beastie in this lap in response. If anybody's on track is partial to a 2-stop, Beastie's definitely one of them. But definitely looks to be 1-stopping tonight. So in is James and Whale. So as you can see, James has dropped down to 3.3 behind Steersy, so was losing time. On goes Gooner and on goes Sniper Monkey. Both still happy with their medium tyres. On goes Beastie as well. So he's not responding immediately to the undercut threat of Ozers and Ryan. Ozers gotten past Ryan, by the way, in the lead up to, I think that's in the lead up to the chicane. Who will have the DRS? Neither of them, by the looks of it. Odd. So this looks like, in a moment, like it could be a race-long battle between those two. Sniper's managed to get onto the back of Gooner. Sniper was always decent on his tyres, as well as being very fast, so not surprised to see him go long. Just about gets the car stopped before hitting the back of Gooner. And Gunnar looked like he dummied that, but both drivers continuing on. So 12 and 15 laps seems pretty reasonable. Going to have the better tyres later in the race. It's going to be interesting seeing those guys coming through. Just looking at what the gap actually is for the moment of James. Between James and Steersy. Chris gets past Kev for P7. Whale is going to find himself stuck here behind the Aston. Chris has gotten past Whale at some point. Yeah, Chris, I think he undercut Whale. Not ideal this for Whale. Unfortunately, not a lot Kev could do. It's not his fault, he's driving his race. Can't just be moving out of people's way because he's on a different strategy that's as simple as that. So he's got his own race to think about, but that's not going to be good for his race. That's into the wall. Part of the wings come off, but not the whole wing. So I don't think we're going to see a safety car for that. I think it's an end plate that's come off. Sniper has picked up a penalty, so has Josh. So finally into the pits then, Beastie, Ozers and Ryan go through, but look, he's not far behind them. So Beastie is not far behind Ryan and Ozers. He's got a couple of seconds to make up. And we'll have 3 and 4 lap fresher tyres than the two of them. So that's going to be an interesting battle when Beastie catches back onto them. If he does. This is an interesting battle at the moment. Sniper and Gunnar. Sniper has the pen. At the moment, James, I believe, is sitting about 23 seconds behind Steersy. Now, I'm not 100% sure how long the pit stop is around here, but I think Steersy would come out just in front of James as it stands at the moment. Problem is, when you've got such a fast driver as Steersy doing the hard stint first, he can still keep the pace up even when the tyres are getting worn to a high enough standard to not lose too much time. So although this is probably the best chance we've got of a battle between Steersy and James in the second half of this race, there you have it, 23 seconds. Look, my maths ain't too bad. Well, of course, cleared Kev when Kev spun. But has now got work to do to catch Chris. And has Admiral on the back of him as well. So, following the pit stops, Kingspen P6, Ozers has come out in P7, having undercut his way through to there, but he's got Sniper all over the back of him. He's going to be under attack now from Sniper and Gunnar. I don't know why Gunnar is 2 seconds behind Sniper, having both pitted there. Wouldn't have expected that. They should have come out basically the same length of time between them. And we've got a yellow flag. I just wonder if it's Ryan. It is! It's Ryanair! It's the RB. Major moment for the Constructors' Championship there. Here's Ryan, makes a mistake and drops to P14. So at the moment, even though James is in P2 with the highest Ferrari in P4, it's looking like advantage Ferrari in this race at the moment overall. A chance to maybe close that 19-point gap, but here comes Admiral on Whale. to the inside. They came together at Monza last week, but no sign of that this week at Suzuka. Admiral gets the move done nicely, makes the corner comfortably, and that's Admiral up to P4. Well, does actually have a lap fresher tyres than Admiral, so you'd fancy his chances of staying on the back of him and maybe attacking back. Admiral on this year's game loves to run a low wing, so it's going to be pretty difficult to overtake. Chewbacca at the moment, trying to chase Gregory. Chewbacca, I feel actually, since he joined WAOF1, I definitely feel like he's taken a step forward pace-wise. I mean, almost everybody on the grid has. Robin definitely has. Barry has. Kev certainly has. They're making those little inroads. Josh doing very well at the moment around here as well. Currently sat in P11. He has pitted. Sniper gets fast dozers. Down into turn 1. Obviously, he needs to actually get away from Ozers as well because he's carrying that 3-second penalty. Josh at the moment has a 10-second, presumably speeding into the pit lane. Robin 3 seconds. I don't feel like I've seen any of this come up at the top of my screen, so I'm not sure if I'm getting the messages or not. Whale still holding within DRS of Admiral, who's trying to catch on to the back of Chris and is making inroads in that. Certainly looking pacey here, Admiral, and it's not out of the question for a podium. James has got the gap between him and Steersy down to 21.5 seconds, but Steersy at the moment not really under any pressure because he knows he could keep going on. Well, he's pitting now. I was going to say he could keep going on these hards because unless he's in puncture territory, he could just keep going and have the biggest tyre advantage ever. But in he comes. Maybe the reason for that pit stop is because he was catching on to the back of his teammate to lap him and didn't want to make him get blue flags. Because I did feel that he could have carried on. Here's James. You'll see Steersy on the right. He's going to exit right in front of James. James fully aware and make sure not to make contact into turn 1. Well done, James. Easy to make a little mistake there as you're heading into turn 1 as another car is exiting the pits. James fully aware. Look at already the mediums kicking in. They can't be warm yet, but it'll take a full lap to really get up to a decent temperature, and already Steersy just pulling away, and I wouldn't be surprised if that gap's over 10 seconds come the end of the race. Chase is still on for P3. Admiral still chasing down Chris, and I've just realised actually Chris is chasing down James. I think James probably lost a bit of time going into turn 1 with Steersy coming out the pit, so Chris right on the back of James. Seems to be pretty rapid up the straight, by the way, James. So running a low wing is a tall man from Norwich. I don't think he's actually from Norwich, by the way, but I think he lives there. Just further down, those are still holding within the 3 seconds of Sniper at the moment. Long way to go for him to actually keep doing that, because at some point he's bound to hit a bit of a wall on his hards a lot earlier than Sniper does. Well, 5 laps earlier than Sniper does. Gregory into the pits for a second stop. So we do have a 2-stopper As I say, the 2-stop's a good 6 seconds slower than the 1 around here, so ideally you don't want to be doing it. But the chances of a safety car are reasonably high around here, so you can't blame people if they do set up for a 2-stopper in hope of a safety car to make the strategy work. It's not looking like that in a moment as we're 2/3 of the way through the race. Josh into the pits. Well, I wasn't expecting that. I thought Josh was going to the end of the race. So he's going to serve his 10 seconds as well. Yes, I thought they did it before they changed the tyres. Sure. So strange. Seems to have changed the tyres first and then served the penalty, which is... Sure, is usually the other way round. They serve the penalty and then change the tyres. But he's out now, in a way. Sniper's called one to the back of Kingspin, who also, of course, like Ozers, pitted early. Ozers will be hoping that Kingspin can hold Sniper up a bit. Sniper just gaining onto the back of Kingspin up the back straight. Fresher tyres to hopefully get a better exit. Well, he struggled on the exit here through qualifying. Now has the overtake to be able to make the move. Here he goes to the inside, and that's Sniper up to P6. Absolutely nothing Kingspin could do there, but he's got a much better chance, of course, than Ozers of staying within that 3 seconds of Sniper. Well, for Ozers, he's under attack from Gunnar right now. Oh no, by the way, already back up to P11. He did a little bit by pit stops. Chewbacca's in again. Not sure what's going on here strategy-wise with some of the drivers. Chewbacca's actually pitted to a fresh set of softs. I guess being out in Q1 left him some fresh sets to use. Swapped it for a different strategy as Gunnar has a look at Ozers and the hairpin. Having to defend from Gunnar here is not going to aid Ozers' case of staying within 3 seconds of Sniper, which he's not at the moment. It's about 3.5 seconds now, the gap between Sniper and Ozers. Might wonder if Ozers' better strategy here would be Gunnar going through and trying to hold on to the back of Gunnar. Then he's got Beastie quickly approaching after that, so it's a difficult decision here for Ozers. For me, is there going to be a lot that he can do about it as they come onto the pit straight? Ozers has the advantage in energy. Gunnars gets it alongside, side by side. Ozers looks to me like he decides not really to battle that. I think he was going to hold the position. He wanted to do it by being too fast down the straight for Gunnar. Ultimately, it's important for Ozers to get through the rest of this race instant free, because at the moment he's beating Ryanair. But in terms of points, with Well having dropped to P5, I believe the advantage has swung the way of the RBs now. With James being in P2 and Well in P5, Oz is in 9, Ryan in 11. That would give RB a slight gain over the Ferraris for the constructors. It's all looking good for Steersy for the drivers. And Ryan is under a little bit of pressure here from Robin. Robin does have a penalty though. Beastie getting onto the back of Oza, so we've got a couple of battles materialising. Let's go to Beastie then, and let's see if he's close enough to do anything about Oza's on the straight. It looks like he's a little far off going into the chicane, but he is in DRS to help him just coast up to the back of that Ferrari for next lap. Let's see. Yeah, opts to change out of his overtake. Looked like he was just going to get a bit close to the back of Ferrari there, but it will now be experiencing, of course, the dirty air. Let's go to Robin then. But Robin can't do anything about Ryan in the lead up to turn 1. Again, just like Beastie on the back of O's as it gets him onto the gearbox. We've got a yellow flag. Oh, it's a Ferrari. It's Whale has made a mistake in the second Degner. Let's make sure everything's intact on the front of that car. Yeah, he's got both end plates, he's got a full front wing, so I think he's okay. But, not ideal. Robin making a move on Ryan at the chicane. He's got him through. Who's got the DRS? Robin's got the DRS, but Ryan is coming back at him. Is he going to be able to hold this, or will the DRS? It looks like Ryan's going to get through despite not having DRS. Yeah, and through Ryan goes, so he retakes the position off for Robin. Robin needed that to stick, really, if he had any chance of getting away over the remaining laps. Beastie and O's are still in the same positions. Robin with a clear grip advantage at the moment. See coming out the second Degner there. It's a 3-lap difference, but the thing is, Ryanair has probably hit a bit of a wall with the tyres, whereas Robin's still approaching that wall. So he's got the grip advantage at the moment, and you'd feel this is a much bigger opportunity. It looks at the moment like Beastie's still a little far off the back of Ozers. They're heading down to turn 1 now, but yeah, O's are still clearly in front. Yeah, Robin just seems to lose a bit coming out of the chicane. And yeah, just cannot get alongside before turn 1. So we'll have to wait another lap. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. We've got a yellow flag, and it's Sniper Monkey out of the second Degner. And he does have wing damage. It's quite significant damage to the left side of his front wing. That will require a pit stop. We're on lap 24. He potentially could go 3 laps, but he's a reserve. I'd be surprised if he doesn't just pit to softs and go for the fastest lap here. that promotes Kingspin to P6, Gunnar to 7, Ozers to 8, BC now to 9. This is free. Where's Ryan? Ryan's dropped to P13. So something's happened. Something's happened to Ryan in that battle with Robin, and he's dropped to P13. So another big change in the Constructors' Championship. Was there contact, or did he just make a mistake? I think Hose is under attack this time. Again, they just can't get there. They're identical on energy at the moment. As Sniper does indeed make his way back to the pits, so sticks a set of softs on. As I say, he'll go for the fastest lap now. And, so he's not got that gap to over 10 seconds like I thought he might, but it's still a very healthy 7 seconds. We got a yellow flag. Steersy's losing chunks of time to James here. It seems like he just didn't want to force his teammate past. He gives a little wobble to Kev. I don't think that was saying anything about not getting out of the way. I think that was because they're teammates. Steersy might even try and pull Kev along a little bit here. He did lose him a chunk of time. James must have been thinking, what's going on? Barry is into the pits. He's stuck on a set of softs, and Steersy is approaching him now. So Barry needs to get away here, otherwise he's going to get blue flagged in a way. Right, what battles are materialising? We've definitely got the battle for P3 between Chris and Admiral. Those are still under the cosh from Beastie, but Beastie's picked up a pen actually. It's definitely not coming up on the top of my screen. Ozers though is caught up to the back of Kingspin. So maybe a chance for Ferrari to gain another place. They're on exactly the same amount of laps on the tyres. They did pit early, these two. I just see there. I think we've got a puncture. I think Kingspin's got a puncture on the front left. I thought I saw some leather coming off the wheel. Rubber, sorry. But yeah, Kingspin's got a puncture on the front left, so his Ozers under... His Ozers at risk. We're on the same length of laps that completed on the tyres, so Ozers could be at risk. Thing for Ozers here is because Beastie's got a pen, he doesn't really need to push and hold Beastie off, because obviously if Beastie gets past, he'd also have to get 3 seconds up the road. So Ozers can actually take this very, very easily. Kingspin has opted to pass the pits and complete the race on 3 wheels. Sure how advisable that is really, but I suppose he was looking at it and probably saw the gap to Robin and Robin with a penalty and thought I might have a chance of holding on to P9. It's going to be a very, very big long shot. Robin, see that gap flying down. Oh, I've been kicked from my party, guys. I'm just going to put myself back into a party. So we'll switch to Steersy as he nears the chicane on the final lap. Looks like Barry did have to give way. Steersy crosses the line and takes victory in Suzuka, Japan. James with a fantastic P2. Chris does hold off Admiral to take P3. Admiral in 4. Whale takes P5. going to be Gunnar for P6, up 4 places. Ozer's up a fantastic 7 to take P7. And it's pretty close on the points, but I think, as it stands, I think the Ferraris will gain slightly. Beastie with a brilliant P8. And I think it's between Chris and Beastie for my driver of the day. King Spin does cross the line in P9. So he actually made the right call because he did hold on to P9. Don't know. I don't think the stewards will look at anything regards driving on the free wheels for a full lap instead of pitting. But that's not my jurisdiction. So Gregory ends up with a top 10 finish. Robin at P11. I believe it was Ryan in 12. I'll just finish that in just a moment. That's enough of that. Right, so where did we get to? So yeah, it was Ryan in P12, Chewbacca 13, Josh in 14, Sniper 15 in the end. Did take that fastest lap with 1:29.093. Barry 16, Kev in 17. We lost Avi and Tolu. Just go to the race director and get that on the stream. There we go, not very much there to be honest. And there we have it. I think we got all the penalties previously. My driver of the day, absolute toss-up for me between Chris and Beastie. But do you know what? I'm going to go with Beastie. I think an 8th place finish, a big place gain. Was it 5 places up from where he started? And a P8 in this division for Beastie is a massive result. So, in my opinion, I think that's the standout performance tonight. But without doubt, Chris up 4. I think was it 4 or 5 places to take P3 as well for the podium. Chris gets the podium, so he gets a nice little celebration in a way. But Beastie can have a little additional celebration by having a driver of the day because I think he fully deserves it. That does mean that I've broken my promise to Well, who bribed me for a driver of the day tonight, but isn't getting it, so I will not be getting a whale pen pot or a box of tissues. Damn it. Anyway, that's it for tonight, guys. For you guys that have watched along, I thank you so much, especially after the start, to stick with us after the start and to put up with me having a cold all the way through and coughing and stuff. Thank you, guys. Other than that, really, I think that's about it. So I will say, don't forget the stream on Thursday. If we have a stream on Thursday, we are actually looking for a commentator again this week. So if anybody's interested, please give one of the admins a shout. Ideally, Vati's the one dealing with it, so give him a shout if you're able to help out. And of course, Sunday, Brian will be streaming the Sunday divisions, so come and join those for the Monaco Frills and Spills. Monaco starts Thursday, then on Sunday it'll be Monaco, but a wild card on the Sunday race. So that will make it very interesting. No track limits. That's going to be interesting. Okay, anyway, guys, good night. God bless. See you again soon. Thank you.